Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Yasharal, Living Orders and Commands. It is an end-time series to those who truly seek to do the will of the Almighty Father. I'm compelled to believe that this is your desire, if this is your choice to pursue the will of the Almighty Father, that you will come to discover His name as Yahuah, and you will come to know that it was He who manifests His word in the flesh in the person of Yahushua Messiah. You will come to know the structure, the plan, the process. All will be made clear to your understanding if you truly, indeed, seek to pursue to do the will of the Almighty Father. My name is Symmanayah, and today is July 16th, 2015. This segment is entitled The Coming Discipline. My brothers and sisters, as I was praying the other day, it was as though the Spirit of Yahushua has said to me that wickedness and evil has enlarged its presence. It has become so widespread and so strong that many brothers and sisters have come to settle for what they think is the closest to set apartness. They have settled within compromising teachings and practices and camps. They have settled in their fellowship with one another. Many have settled because there is so much wickedness that they choose to follow in the path or in fellowship with the least of the wicked, nevertheless unaware that this is a ploy of the wicked one. There have been brothers and sisters who echo, you're not going to find a perfect camp or fellowship or church. And all too often they echo it so strong, people fail to realize the purpose of iron sharpening iron. The orders and commands from the scriptures and from the living presence of the Spirit of Yahushua, which states that we should focus straightly on Him and focus on serving and worshiping the Almighty Father. Many people have looked at wickedness magnified. Behind every door there is wickedness. Behind every company, every corporate structure, every group, there is wickedness and evil. Keep in mind that the flesh wars against the spirit. And it has become so widespread, so rampant, that we have settled for what we believe to be the least of the wicked in order to justify still coming together without listening to the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua. Soon and very soon that will end among the children of Yahuah, among those who will fulfill the final exodus, among those who will become known as the children of obedience, among those who will die for Yahushua's name. Pray and watch. He who formed man from the ground, He who made the sun, the stars, and the moon, He who is the beginning and the end has created a plan of which no man, no woman, child, or beast, or anything can stop. He is the Almighty One. He is the Almighty Yahuah, who sent His set-apart Spirit in the name of Yahushua to bring redemption, to bring restoration and fellowship, to offer life immeasurably to those who seek to do His will. No man can come unto the Father except by acknowledging that it was He who manifests Himself, His word, in the person of Yahushua, to demonstrate to us how we are to engage Him as the mighty one, Yahuah, our Almighty Father. Soon and very soon you will come to understand this, as you will come to understand that these vessels, these earthen vessels, will go back to the dirt from which they came. You will come to understand how our spirit is joined with Yahushua Messiah. And it is through Yahushua Messiah we have fellowship with the Almighty One, who is indeed the Father, Yahuah. They are one, and we will come to understand how this is so. In spite of one's academic interpretation and perception of how they can be one, we will come to know truly how they are indeed one and the same. My brothers and sisters, as I was praying the other day, it was as though the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua spoke to me, saying extreme humbling times are coming, and it will not be a maybe, that it will bring refinement to the children of Yahuah, those who will fulfill the final exodus in or be martyrs for Yahushua's name. It was as though the Spirit of Yahushua reinforced that a major transformation is coming, a transformation of extreme that will be reflective of our refinement. It was as though the Spirit of Yahushua brought to my attention that man have experienced witnessing wickedness enlarged in so many ways, shapes, and forms that it has caused our pursuit of set apartness to be distorted. But he informed me that deliverance will come, and it has begun in our discipline, in our refinement. It was as though the Spirit of Yahushua brought to mind many things have influenced how we react to situations, how we interpret the written word known as scriptures. It was as though the Spirit of Yahushua brought to mind how we interact with one another, how it was influenced by many factors. And it was made clear to me that a transformation is necessary and that it is indeed coming, my brothers and sisters. The coming discipline, a discipline promised by the Almighty Father. My brothers and sisters, it was as though the living Spirit of Yahushua brought to my attention how the following words have a part in our flesh warring against the Spirit. In other words, these words join our flesh in fighting against our pursuit of set apartness. Listen carefully, my brothers and sisters. Before I read these words, let me read this to you. Galatians 5:17. For the flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh, and these are opposed to each other, so that you do not do what you desire to do. Now let me mention these words, my brothers and sisters. These are words that have affected how we have been trained, influenced, how we've been conditioned and programmed. It affects our very way of acting in life. Words such as mind, the mind, M-I-N-D, the brain or brain, intelligence, intellect, smart, quick thinker, gifted, talented, capable, can do, brought natural. There are many words, my brothers and sisters, that justify our audacity to think that we are more than what we are, to think more of ourselves, whether it be academically, socially, or even spiritually. Many of us fail to realize that our perceptions are shaped by those who have influenced our lives. People like family members, parents, friends, neighbors, communities and schools, churches, civic organizations, jobs, careers, governments, clubs, and many more have influenced the sum of our existence, the way we govern ourselves to this very day. Our perceptions are attacked on many fronts. Our actions have been influenced so greatly that often it poses a hindrance to our ability to discern the living voice of the Spirit of Yahushua. We all too often trust our intellect, our minds, to be above what is spiritual and set apart. We believe that no matter how strong and charismatic we are, that we are confidently right, only to know that we have become victims of wickedness, some unaware, some unknowingly. Many of us have probably viewed the messages that's been presented as repetitive and redundant, unaware that the functions of a warning are to be repetitive. Sirens, warnings, or the blowing of a shofar as an alarm will continue on until the return of Yahushua Mashiach. Who has witnessed an emergency vehicle speeding down the road with lights and sirens on? Who is aware that when a patient in an ambulance passes or dies, that sometimes the warning devices on the ambulance are turned off? Who is aware that in death there is no longer a need for a warning before the dead? Take heed, my brothers and sisters. The ministry of the two witnesses are about to be made known and real to us. Their full ministry will be known to us as these individuals become visible. They will prove to deliver instructions, warnings, living orders, and render messages of vengeance as well as restoration towards the refinement of Yahshua. The vengeance will be against those who have shed the innocent blood of the children of Yahuah. Vengeance, as the Most High has said in the scriptures, vengeance is mine. Consider the following, my brothers and sisters. Revelations 11:4-6 says, These are the two olive trees and the two lampstands that are standing before the Almighty One of the earth. If anyone wishes to harm them, fire comes out of their mouth and consumes their enemies. And if anyone wishes to harm them, he has to be killed in that way. These possess authority to shut the heavens so that no rain falls in the days of their prophecy. And they possess authority over waters to turn them to blood and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they wish. Have you considered the words of the passage I just read? Have you given thought or prayer to the full characteristics of the ministry of the two witnesses, let alone their roles and Yasharal, their obedience to the Spirit of Yahushua, their ministry? What messages will they deliver to the world or to Yasharal? Have you given thought? Have you given prayer? Do you honestly think that these three verses that I just read, or more in chapter 11, and as well as in Zechariah, describe the full ministry of the two witnesses? I tell you, no, they do not. They only give us a glimpse. Have you given thought to the condition or place of Yasharal as these two witnesses of Revelation emerge? I submit to you, O Yasharal, to you, O listener, to these words. The two witnesses of Revelation are here. They are on the planet, and soon and very soon their identities will be made known to us. They are on the planet, and they will begin to execute full right rulings, and we will know by their actions, by the deeds that they perform, by the messages they present, that they are the chosen ones, the chosen anointed of Yahushua, ordered to bring about the final leadership as a man being used by the Spirit of Yahushua to Yasharal. Prepare, O Yasharal, to witness the emergence and the identities of the two witnesses mentioned in Revelation. We will know by their actions, by their words. We will know without a doubt as we are refined, as our eyes are made clear, as our ears are open. Consider the following, my brothers and sisters. For I believe without a doubt that it is us, O Yasharal. It is the children who will become known as the children of obedience, the children of Yahuah, who are the restraints mentioned in the following passage. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3 through 7 says, let no one deceive you in any way, because the falling away is to come first, and the man of lawlessness is to be revealed, the son of destruction, who opposes and exalts himself above all that he is called the Almighty One, or that is worshipped, so that he sits as the Almighty One in the dwelling place of the Almighty One, showing himself as the Almighty One. Do you not remember that I told you this while I was still with you? And now you know what restrains for him to be revealed in his time. For the secret of lawlessness is already at work, but only until he who now restrains come out of the midst. It is us, O Yasharal, who will be gathered from the four corners of the earth. We are the restraint. We are holding back the fullness of the anti-Messiah from emerging. And soon and very soon instructions will go forth regarding the gathering of Yasharal in order that this anti-Messiah may rise. We, O Yasharal, will be gathered from the four corners of the earth to the set-apart mountain, to Mount Sinai, to the region of Mount Sinai, commonly known as Jabal al-Laws, located in the northwestern quadrant of Saudi Arabia. With power, with might, with demonstration of action, led by the Spirit of Yahushua, there will be shepherds that will rise up, and we will be guided together, and we will come together as an awakening nation. My brothers and sisters, it was as though the Spirit of Yahushua informed me there is much work to be done, that we will be humbled. We will witness the presence of the Spirit rise among us. It was as though I faced continual reinforcement regarding the life in the scriptures regarding the discipline of Yahushua. Hebrews 12th chapter, Revelation 3:19. Hebrews 12th chapter, Revelation 3:19 speaks of discipline. And it is coming, my brothers and sisters. Yes, the coming discipline from the Almighty Father. My brothers and sisters, as I have mentioned before, it would be wise to discern the difference between trials and tribulations versus the discipline of the Most High. Some kick against his discipline. Some fight against it and resist it. Some, many, erroneously dismiss the discipline of the Most High and battle against it, thinking that it's a trial or a tribulation. It will be wise to seek to discern and understand the difference between the two as living orders and commands become more clear. We will come to know what is indeed set apart. Remember, the Almighty Father sent His set-apart Spirit in Yahushua's name. It will be made clear to those who will become known as the children of obedience. Yahshua awakens. My brothers and sisters, as I mentioned before, it would be wise to discern the difference between trials and tribulations and discipline. Global warming, climate change will continue to wreak havoc on this planet. With continued widespread drought in major areas where food is grown, it will continue to be prolonged. It will get intense. Soon and very soon, the strategies that the media in the world have for masking severe food shortages will evaporate. The world will come to know the true condition of our food inventories. Supply chains are closing daily, my brothers and sisters, and the strategies to prevent chaos from erupting will soon fall to the wayside as food shortages become clear and prevalent across the planet. The media will no longer be able to hide under the shadows of economics such as prices going high and supply and demand. The world will know point blank that food inventories are evaporating. Pestilence and disease will rise and overwhelm societies like never before imagined. People will be forced to move, especially those who are on the Western Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere will find themselves returning to the region where life began. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. The coming discipline will become clear. And I will pause right here and ask that you stay tuned for part 2, a second part to this message. I want to thank you for your patience, your tolerance, your pursuit of set-apartness. Stay tuned as we move to part 2. Shalom, shalom, shalom.